right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's Daybreak on Trust Television. It's that time where we bring you all the headlines from select newspapers from across the country. And before I go on, finally, Husseina's village people have released her from Abuja traffic. She returns today after a deserved rest.
Yes.
Clearly, you seem to have rested.
I have.
And I know, I hope you bring all that freshness.
Definitely.
Except that I have not seen Ms. Araba, if you know what that means.
Well, it has to be after the show.
Okay. You hear that, viewers?
Yeah, really excited to be back, by the way.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We move on straight to Daily Trust. And on the front page this morning, it's setting agenda for the incoming president. 6 top sectors waiting Tinubu's magic wand. Experts advocate new security architecture, think tank, power grid crashes, dog energy sector, and 77 trillion debt amidst rising inflation. If you want these and many more details on this story, pick up today's Daily Trust and open to page 4. And to other stories, bandits kill 15 farmers in Kaduna, Benue. How vigilante killed 11 herders, women, children in Oyo. And resident doctors suspend strike, resume work today. Over 70% of Nigerian food rejected abroad, and that's coming from NAFDAC. And Dara plans big for Buhari's homecoming. Nigeria imported 1.5 trillion real sugars in 6 years. This is despite the amount we have committed to refining sugar in Nigeria. And finally, MSSN petitions FG overload sexual content in school textbooks. This and many more you have on the front page of today's Daily Trust.
All right, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. And we have the lead story here that says Dangote refinery opens today, eyes crude oil from 3 continents. And we have riders that say Buhari, Tinubu, African leaders, others to attend luncheon. Refinery to meet daily fuel consumption, create 100,000 jobs. We also have a pictorial of the refinery. And moving on, account for $460 million CCTV loan, court orders federal government. NDLEA arrest Baron in Lagos hotel over 567 million naira seized drug. We also have don't judge me based on performances as minister, says Akpabio. And at the top of the page there we have presidential poll tribunal. Parties disagree as court rules on live broadcast today. And these are some of the stories on the Punch.
All right, moving on to This Day newspaper this morning. At the top of the nameplate, we have the story Waboti, over $50 billion oil industry project unveiled at Oil and Gas Fair. FG Nigeria oil sector still dominated by foreigners despite government efforts. And NEPL targets 60 additional oil wells by 2024. And to other stories, on ICOM backs call for live broadcast of presidential tribunal proceedings. 7 African presidents joined Buhari to open Dangote refinery, continent's game changer. 650,000 facility to alter international energy landscape and end petrol smuggling in Nigeria. The Tinubu, Emefiele, governors, ministers, top business leaders to witness epoch event. Refinery a significant achievement for Africa, Adeleke declares. Orama, Afri-Exim Bank, proud as its largest financer. And Rewani refinery will strengthen Nigerian microeconomic stability. You'll find this and many more details if you pick today's This Day newspaper. And that's it from the This Day newspaper this morning.
All right, on the Sun newspaper, we have just beside the nameplate there, a US-based doctor files motion to delay Tinubu's inauguration. We also have tension as gunmen kill 15 in Kaduna, Benue, vigilante in Delta. Details can be found on page 5. Latest Plateau attacks, which is the big story on Daily Sun. Church alleges killing of 130, razing of 1,000 houses. 22 worship centers also in 22 villages burnt. We also have federal government sacks Fan MD, appoints Muhammad new CEO. Major shakeup looms across aviation agencies. Failed Abuja CCTV project, court orders federal government to account for $460 million Chinese loan. And we have Northern Group asks EFCC chair to go over corrupt allegations. We won't bandy words with Matawale, says commission. These are some of the stories on Daily Sun.
And moving on to the Nation newspaper, right there at the top of the nameplate, explain your source of wealth. El-Rufai tells predecessors. An interest rate likely to go up again as MPC meets. Sack fever grips aviation workers after fan shakeup. Feba Balola urges incoming government to seek debt forgiveness. And Shatima Tinubu will run an inclusive administration. And why Southeast should support incoming government by Umahi. And you find pictures there of youth core members yesterday, as well as why President-elect met with Kwankwaso. This is coming from Jibrin and DJ aware of Pali. Clearly, this is in an apparent response to the concerns raised by Ganduje over that visit. And that's it on the newspaper review for us this morning. Joining us to give perspective to some of the stories that have made the front pages is our reviewer this morning, Dr. Larry Oluwani, a public affairs analyst who joins us right in the studio. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to see you again after a while.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. The papers are saying all kinds of things this morning, but what appears to be big on the horizon is the commissioning of the Dangote refinery. In Abuja here, for instance, we have endured, what do you call it now? Queues for nearly 2 years. Things have been better in the last couple of months, but when you drive past filling station, you still get the impression, you look at your meters to see whether there will be the need to top up, so that you don't wake up the next morning and you start seeing stories, because the black market boys have not disappeared from the streets, which is an indication that there is still a shortage in supply. From your perspective, how significant is this commissioning today, and what should Nigerians look forward to?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's a very huge project that we must appreciate, because one thing about us and black race is that we don't appreciate, we don't value what we have, and I see the attitude of people. They don't even see it as something big or something that is going to be very impactful. Definitely is going to go a long way, especially when we are looking at removal of fuel subsidy. And if we are able to have this and it's functioning well and is delivering accurately according to statistics, I believe it's a good direction as far as Nigeria is concerned. And the good part of it is that it's because it's a private-owned refinery, I believe maintenance and the sustainability will be there. Unlike the one that belong to federal government, people just do anyhow. But since it's a private-owned company, I'm aware that federal government have percentage in it. I'm aware of that, but nevertheless, it's a PPP arrangement. So let's trust what they will do, and I believe it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. It's a landmark project for this administration.
Okay, well, you talked about some people not being happy about the whole arrangement. Well, some quarters actually seem to think that since it's privately owned, the government shouldn't be overly excited about it and rather should work on, revamping the refineries that they already have on ground.
The truth of the matter is that the one we have on ground, they have been pouring a lot of money into it. So it's not giving us the performance we're expecting. So it's more or less like you are wasting your fund. That's the truth. Let's be realistic to ourselves. Each government will come, they will say they want to revamp it, spend a lot of millions of dollars. At the end of the day, nothing good is coming out. And this arrangement is now, they can use Dangote refinery as a name, but federal government have 40% there. There's a 40% belong to federal government there. Nigerian government have 40% stake in it. Maybe people don't, a lot of people are not aware of it because they use the name Dangote. That means that's what made them feel that, oh, it belongs to only one man. No, it does not. Federal government still have 40% stake in it, and there is arrangement on how they will be supplying the crude and what they will be giving the Nigerian citizen as a more of the way that things will go well.
Okay.
So that's just it.
All right. Moving on to other issues that made the front pages this morning. We have another good one today. What appears to be a beautiful Monday is the calling off of the strike by the resident doctors. You know, they went for, I think, a 4 or 5 day warning strike, which sort of grounded activities in most tertiary medical facilities across the country, because a large chunk of our doctors withdraw from these resident doctors. So it created some kind of hole and dislocation in service delivery. What lessons are there to be learned? Because this is just a warning strike, and they are saying if the requests are not met, they are likely to embark on a full-fledged.
Well, it's quite unfortunate that we are having a strike in that sector. This is a sector that is not supposed to go on strike. What I simply mean is that we're supposed to take equal care of them. And just like you are hearing the Nigerian police force are going on strike, what will happen the following day in the society? The same thing applicable to Nigerian doctors. They are on strike, a lot of patients are going to lose their life. People who are going to lose their relatives. So that as it may be, what important moves is that we should just keep telling the new administration they should find a lasting solutions on their allowances, on their asset allowance, these, or what they are demanding for. I'm quite aware of one thing that is affecting us is because we don't generate enough revenue. All the budget this administration have been implementing is from borrowed money. They are borrowing money to sustain the budget. So they could not factor in all these new, and these are demands that are due, even overdue, even the same thing with the NSC issue and the same thing with the ASU. These are overdue agreements with the previous administration, with President Jonathan administration, that we are going to do this, we are going to implement this, we are going to do that. But this administration could not find enough revenue to sort those issues. So they are right. That's the truth. So now, what is the way forward? What is the solution? Because I believe in talking solution than the problem, because we know the problem. We all know the problem. The solution is that this administration must think outside the box to see how we can generate more revenues in all looks and crannies of this country. This country have money. This country have a lot of potential. This country, it's just only that there are some particular set of people that are just determined to just grant this country. That's the truth.
Okay, you've actually mentioned quite a few sectors. Now let's talk about the aviation sector. I mean, you know how it is when you want to travel by air these days, and the aviation sector has actually been marred by protests as well. Now there has been a major shake-up, and as the Nation would actually put it, a sack fever grips aviation workers after fan shake-up. They're scared that they might lose their jobs and all that. What are your thoughts on this?
Now, the issue there is on the issue of federal government staff, and I only have little concern. You know why? Majority, I'm not saying they should not pay them their dues salary, but majority of all this stuff, because we should balance our concept. Majority of all this federal government staff, many of them are not even contributing to the organization they belong to. I must be realistic. They are not adding values. Now, if you hear that they sack so many people now, we can all emotionally talk about it, that, oh, why this time, no job, and other stuff. But when you go to those sectors, you discover some of them are not even resuming at the right time to resume. Some of them that even resume, they are not even adding value to the organization. We cannot continue that way. At the same time, I'm not supporting the sack, but at the same time, I'm encouraging those that are working with all this federal government parastatal to also do their best to be adding value and to be shaping the organization they belong to. That's the reality. That's the only way we can have a better nation. Because one thing about people like to hear is that, oh, well, they don't pay our salary, they don't pay our dues, they don't pay our allowance, and this. Ask those staff, what time are you resuming at your working place? Are you attending to the customers that are coming to your working place on a daily basis? Some of them, they operate as if they are working in their father's house. I must be sincere to you. They all cry foul of the federal government that they are not doing best. Yes, we know that we must talk to federal government, but we must talk to ourselves as well. Because it's two sides of the coin. If you want them to take good care of you, add value to that organization. Bring initiative to that organization. Some of them have been there 25 years, they are just sitting there collecting salary. They have not contributed any value, no value added. We have moved from the era of whereby you sit down at your office and you expect salary to be paid when you are not adding value to the organization you belong to. We must be sincere. We can't continue this way. Nation cannot run this way. That's the truth. A good nation cannot run this way when everybody is not working. You get to some of those parastatals, you find them doing nothing, only gossiping in the morning, Monday morning. As a customer, as somebody that needs something in that department, they will see you starting, they won't even talk to you. I don't want to go deeper on that.
All right. All right. The studio is becoming emotionally charged.
Yeah, you know, we just have to, every day we talk about government, good. But what happened to us?
Absolutely. Fantastic question there you have put out. It's a poser for all of us. Attitude, commitment to work has to change. I'd like you to react to this story before we let you go. Bandits kill 15 farmers in Kaduna and Benue. And on the flip side, vigilantes killed 11 herders, women, children in Oyo. There appears to be too many tragic stories.
Yeah, all manner of insecurity for the past 1 month now, especially in Plateau State, is disheartening. And that I believe this new administration, because I keep mentioning the new administration, because there's nothing you can lay hold about this outgoing administration any longer. They just have only a few days to leave office. We just appeal to the new administration to think outside the box, and now we can put all this banditry into a stop it's just into a stop. Not curbing. I'm not believing curbing. Stopped. Let's stop these guys. They are creating more effort on a daily basis. Let's find a way to stop it. I know there are other things that they are considering in stopping them because they have a lot of fitting with them. I know they cannot bomb them sporadically. I know they cannot start shooting them at the, because of the international human rights, so that they will not charge the government for some, international, maybe war crime or whatever. I'm aware of all those stuff. But people don't understand that. Not like they cannot use all these super Tucano to do all those things, but they are very careful. So let's find a lasting solution. If it's not going to wipe them out, find a way to stop them or flush them out of our territory and tighten up our borders. So that's just it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Lanre Oluwani, for a very interesting analysis of the newspaper headlines. Thank you so much. Hope to have you again next week.
Thank you very much.